Somewhere along the way, we learn to separate the act from the feeling, to be close to someone with your body and nowhere else. And we call that being casual, like it costs nothing. So picture that. You're lying next to someone, their arm across your stomach, and part of you is already doing the math on how to leave that situation. You know what time you can leave without it meaning anything to you. Whether you left your charger on their nightstand, because if you left something behind, it's kind of a promise you're not ready to make. Their breathing slows down next to you and yours doesn't. Because some part of you is still standing by the door with your shoes on. You've already rehearsed the text you'll send tomorrow, the light one, the one that keeps this moment exactly the size it currently is. You memorize how someone takes their coffee. You know the sound of their key on the lock, the weight of their body on the other side of the bed. And yet, you still call it nothing. Because giving it a name is what would let it follow you home. And that isn't freedom. It takes real effort to be somewhere and refuse to arrive. It's like a full-time job convincing your own body that the person under your hand doesn't matter, while your hand keeps moving like it does. And you already have a word for whoever wants more than that. Clingy, or needy, or too much. And you say that about them. But you've built the whole arrangement so that wanting things out loud is one move that loses. You let someone see your body, and you never once let them see you flinch. And this isn't only about who you sleep with. Take a look at your phone. Somewhere in there is a group chat with 40 names in it. One for every era of your life, whether it's a job or a city or just a friend group. It's loud on most days, whether it's like a meme or a plan that nobody actually follows in on. And if you really needed something at 2 a.m, not the version of needing where you need a funny reply back, but the version of where your hands are shaking, you'd scroll through all of those 40 names and not find a single person that you would call. And that isn't an accident, because it's easier to keep a friendship in the shallow end. Show up for the parts that photograph well and drift the second it asks something of you. A long drive at a bad hour, or a hard conversation, or sitting with someone through a week where they have nothing to give back. And we call that having boundaries. Mostly it's that a friendship allowed to go deep can also go wrong. And kept shallow can never go wrong. You didn't grow apart, you traded up. The friend who used to get a phone call now gets a like on a story. And you tell yourself that's how people communicate now. One friendship gets tiring, so you lean on the newer ones for a while. Someone who hasn't seen you at your worst yet, who still finds you on your good days instead of your bad days, are going to find you more interesting. Walking away cleanly was always the point. Then there's the people you didn't choose, where the math runs colder because you can't unmatch a parent. You can only manage them. So you see your family when you want to. You answer your phone when you're in the mood to be someone's son or daughter. You show up to the holiday and leave 2 hours early because you thought you already gave enough. From the inside, this looks like boundaries, and sometimes it is. But sometimes distance really is the only sane response to someone who hurt you. And that deserves to be said plainly. But there's a difference between a boundary against a real harm and convenience wearing a boundary's clothes. Because convenience on its own just sounds selfish, and selfish doesn't photograph well. A birthday text sent from your bed at 11:15 at night still counts, technically. It barely counts at all, but at least you sent the text, right? The people who raised you learned to shrink their own asking down to almost nothing, whether it's a call on Sunday, a dinner once a month, because they figured out that asking for more just gets the boundaries word used on them more and more. And if your mother asks a question that gets close to something true, you find yourself glancing at the time, looking for the door in the conversation with the person who raised you. A relationship you're only available for on your own terms isn't a relationship. It's just a subscription you can cancel. So look at the shape of it. The person in your bed you keep half of a room away from, the 40 names in your phone, and the 0 you'd call at 2 in the morning, the parents whose question you dodge by checking the time. It's 3 different rooms, but it's the same reflex. Underneath all 3 sits the same thing every real relationship eventually asks of you: to be known well enough that losing it would actually hurt. There's a cost to this that doesn't show up right away. Every time you catch yourself mid-feeling and quietly step back from it, you get a little better at stepping back. It stops being a choice that you make on purpose and starts being the only setting you have left. You get faster at leaving before you even arrived. Better at loving people in a way that asks nothing of them, because that's safer than the alternative. It works, and that's the unsettling part, because it does work. You can build a whole life this way and never feel the sharp pain of real abandonment, because you never gave anyone the material to abandon you. You'll just feel something duller instead, spread out over years instead of concentrated into one bad night. No story you could tell someone about it, because telling it would mean letting them in, and then you've forgotten how. This disconnection, dressed up as independence or as having standards, is quietly turning us into something less than people. It's making us like robots. Something that goes through the motions of closeness, the arm across the stomach, the birthday text right on time, without ever once risking the thing underneath any of it. A very convincing performance of a human being, running on schedules and low stakes, with nothing left to live at the center of it.